Finance Committee moves that the town amend the general bylaws, section 49-1, permit to dump, by deleting said section and inserting in place thereof a new bylaw, and approve Article 20, all as set forth in the warrant, and further to authorize the town clerk to make non-substantive, thank you.
You're doing great.
Yeah, substantive changes to the numbering of the bylaw in order that it be in compliance with the numbering format of the general bylaws.
Finance Committee makes a motion to approve Article 20 to authorize the town clerk to basically numbers so it fits into the bylaw scheme. Anything to be heard? A permit to dump? If not, all those in favor of approving Article 20, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. No. It passes. Majority vote, Article 20. Article 21 is to amend Chapter 164-4 application criteria of the General Code by deleting the text and the title of paragraph A and reserving said section for future use. This is a housekeeping move. Mr. Lovett.
The Finance Committee moves to amend the general bylaws, Chapter 160, deleting paragraph A for future use.
Article 21 moved. Is there anything to be heard on Article 21? All opposed? The town authorize the Board of Selectmen to extend the term of the intermunicipal agreement for regional cooperation and the provision of solid waste and recycling services with the South Shore Recycling Cooperative as printed in the warrant. The motion.
The Finance Committee moves that the town approve Article 22 as set forth in the warrant.
Finance Committee makes a motion to approve Article 22 as set forth in Article 22. If not, all those in favor of approving Article 22, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. It's unanimous. Article 23, to see if the town will vote to approve the establishment of a stabilization fund according to Mass General Laws, Chapter 71, Section 16G and a half of the South Shore Regional School District, or take any other action relative thereto.
The Finance Committee moves that the town pass over Article 23.
Finance Committee makes a motion that the town pass over Article 23. You want to explain a little bit about this?
Sure. The article will set up a stabilization fund for South Shore Botech, and as I understand, 5 or 6 other towns have already approved it.
Right, the Finance Committee is asking that you motion to pass over, but no matter what you do tonight, it's already been approved by the other towns, just so you know. But we have to take Abington has to take a vote whether to approve this, or support it, or not to approve it. Finance is recommending that you not approve it. Any questions on Article 23? If not, all those in favor of the Finance Committee's motion to the town of Abington to pass over Article 23, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Article 23 passes, majority vote. Article 24, see if the town will vote to accept the provisions of General Laws, Chapter 40, Section 57, and adopt a new bylaw to provide additional options to collect back taxes or other charges by or renewal of the license permit conditional on payment as follows, and the text is laid out on page 15 and 16 of the handout. Mr. Lovett.
The Finance Committee moves to accept the provisions of GL Chapter 40, Section 57, and amend the general bylaws, Chapter 102, failure to pay taxes, by deleting said section in its entirety and inserting in place thereof the bylaw set forth in Article 24 of the warrant, and further to authorize the town clerk to make non-substantive changes to the numbering of the bylaw in order that it be in compliance with the numbering format of the general bylaws.
Finance Committee makes a motion to approve Article 24 and to allow the town clerk to insert the corrected numbers. Anything to be heard on Article 24? If not, all those in favor of approving Article 24 in the Finance Committee's motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. It's unanimous. Article 25, to see if the town will vote to amend zoning bylaws by adding a new section, Section 175-25, and adding a new use to the table of use regulations, all as set forth below for the special requirements of registered marijuana dispensaries for the purpose of allowing and regulating the location of these dispensaries in the town of Abington. Mr. Lovett.
The Finance Committee moves that the town amend the zoning bylaws by adding a new section for the purpose of allowing and regulating the location of registered marijuana dispensaries in the town of Abington, provided that the new section shall be numbered 175-30, and further to authorize the town clerk to make non-substantive changes to the numbering of bylaw in order that it be in compliance with the numbering format of the zoning bylaws.
Vice Committee makes a motion that the town amend the bylaws and approve the amendment as laid out in this article. However, you saw the warrant asked for it to be the new 175, Section 175-25. The motion has corrected that to read 175-30. and to, again, authorize the clerk to make non-substantive changes to the numbering of the bylaw. Are there any questions about Article 25? Sorry, Mary Jo? Their question, just to move things along, is can you say no to this and just say, no, we don't want any marijuana dispensaries? As I understand it, oh, I'm not going to say it, you say it. Town council will speak to that.
No, you cannot. The Attorney General's office did allow towns to impose a moratorium, which Abington did, to allow for some time to study where perhaps these may be located. If you don't pass a bylaw that says it's going to go somewhere, in effect, it could go virtually anywhere.
No. Just to acknowledge, Mr. Smith, just for the record, if you could approach the mic and just confirm the planning board did have the required public hearing and the results of the hearing, the planning board vote to whether to support or not support this zoning change. This will require a 2/3 minimum vote.
The planning board had a hearing, public hearing, and the planning board voted unanimously to accept this bylaw as it's written.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. The planning board has endorsed this bylaw. And yes, ma'am, name and address.
Kathleen Corcoran, 754 Plymouth Street. I'd like to ask Mr. Smith if there are certain sections of town that have already been approved or recommended for approval for a place.
Thank you, Mrs. Cochran. Mr. Smith.
There has been no applications come before the planning board. As you can see at the end of the article on page 22 are the areas that it would be allowed by special permit, which means they still have to come before the planning board to get a special permit. So they just don't walk in and say, I'm going to put it here or put it there. They still have to follow the regulations.
And those are essentially
Highway, commercial, industrial, and technology business zones.
which is Route 18 and maybe
Some
parts
123.
of 123.
And then some up on the end of 18 as you go to Weymouth.
Anything else to be heard or any questions on Article 25? Again, this requires a 2/3 vote. All those in favor of approving Article 25 and the motion made by the Finance Committee, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The moderator declares a 2/3 vote. The motion carries. Before we go to Article 26, I just wanted to congratulate the Abington Green Wave girls softball team for qualifying for the MIA playoffs once again. They had another fine season under their coach. And the Abington boys baseball team that went all the way to the South Sectional Finals. Again, our student athletes, our kids in town just do a great job. And if you look along the walls, you'll see some of the colleges that our high school graduates have just been accepted to this year. So congratulations to our graduates. Also, before we get to Article 26, I want to thank and congratulate our new chairman, Chad Lovett, who was nervous, very nervous coming into this meeting, and I thought he did a wonderful job.
Oh, thanks, John. Thank you.
Article 26, to see if the town will vote to transfer from available funds or borrow the amount of $1.2 million for the purpose of purchasing and equipping a new aerial vehicle for the fire department, or to take any other action relative thereto submitted by the fire chief. Mr. Lovett.
The Finance Committee moves that the town appropriate the sum of $1,200,000 for the purpose of purchasing and equipping a new aerial vehicle for the fire department, and is funding, therefore, to authorize the treasurer, with the approval of the Board of Selectmen, to borrow said sum pursuant to GL Chapter 44, Section 7 or 8, or any other enabling authority, and to issue bonds and notes, therefore.
Finance Committee motions to approve Article 26 according to the motion that has been printed and just now read. Is there anything to be heard in the article? If not, this will require a 2/3 vote because it authorizes borrowing, and the selectmen and the town financial officers will determine the terms at a later date. Anything to be heard? Otherwise, all those in favor of approving the Finance Committee's motion to approve Article 26 as proposed, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. It's unanimous. I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank the volunteers from the Abington High School. But most of all, I'd like to thank each and every one of you voters who comes here to take part in town meeting. This is a wonderful town to work with, work in, and I hope you'll continue to stay involved with our community. Thank you. I declare that the annual town meeting to be adjourned at the time of 9:31.